And what's up, everybody? It's Clash with Midnight, and I'm back with another video. And today's video will be top 5 tips to become a better Clash Royale player. But before we get into the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get into the video. Tip number 1, rolling with the meta. Now, rolling with the meta is for lower level players, and what I mean by that is when you roll with the meta, you're using meta decks that people put out. And most likely meta decks are super strong regardless of the level of your cards. But as well, it depends on the skill that you have. And most meta decks, you have to be really good. You have to practice with them. And I know most of you are going to say, oh, maybe I should use an original deck and I might stand out and my deck might beat theirs. But most likely, meta decks are made to be able to defend and defeat most original decks because they're super strong. And I know sometimes when you use meta decks, there's going to be other decks that counter it. But most likely, that deck that counters your deck is a meta deck. And sometimes you got to roll with the meta in order to switch into your own type of meta. So that's what I used. So on to tip number 2. Number 2, tilting. Now most of you guys should know what tilting is. But if you don't, tilting is when you start getting angry and annoyed at the game while you're in the middle of a live match, and it may affect your judgment and you might start playing badly, and that can lead to a losing streak. And honestly, this just happened to me the other day, and I started tilting and I dropped down almost 300 trophies. And so the way to stop tilting is just to get off the game for a minute to cool down, because most likely tilting a lot of the times is reasons why people go on losing streaks. They don't know when to stop. They don't know when to get off for a minute and fix their judgment, fix their strategies, and then get back onto the game. So my advice for people who tilt, just take a break. I used to delete the game and reinstall it, and personally that helped me because it made me feel refreshed, and I would go on a 10 winning streak, and it will help me a lot. So those who deal with that and they go against like over level cards and they're just making you angry, just hop off the game for a minute, and in the long run it will help you. On to tip number 3. Strategize on and off the field. Now what I mean by strategize on and off the field is when you're on the field, what do? You use strategies in order to win. But there's also strategies off the field that can help you win as well. So, for an example, I personally, if I go on a losing streak, if I lose even 2 matches, I go and I look and see what mistakes I made in that one video, and then I go look in the next video to see if I made that same mistake. And when you go and look, you see, oh, this is a common occurrence of the mistakes that I make, and maybe I can fix this. Another way is looking at your log of matches. And if you see a common occurrence of maybe a hog rider and you can't defend it, and you see it so many times in your feed, that means it's time for you to adjust your deck according to what you see. So me, I see barbarians the most. What do? I switch my deck to where I can defend myself against barbarians. Or if I see elite barbarians, I adjust my deck to where I can defend against elite barbarians. Things of that nature. Exactly what Lava did. Most people couldn't defend it because they didn't know how to defend. But in reality, if you go and watch your matches, you learn there's a good way to defend. You can executioner tornado, but you know, if they have a lightning, you have to have another contingency plan. And that's the point. You have to pre-plan. You have to think ahead of what you might think they might have. And that's what I meant back in the first tip, rolling with the meta. Know the meta. Know exactly what type of decks these people are running, because once you run to it, you won't be worried. Now on to tip number 4. Never play on the ladder at the beginning of the season. Now, the reason why I say never play on the ladder at the beginning of the season is for one main reason. This goes to the people in the 3900s and above. Most of the time, a lot of the high-ranking players, such as level 13, level 12s, people with maxed out cards, people with maxed out elite barbarians, maxed out royal giants, stuff in that nature, are dropping back down to the 4Ks. A lot of them that are at the top, they're either at 4300 or they're even past that, and sometimes they might get dropped down to the 4Ks, and they might even fall further than that. And so at the beginning of the season, it's usually like a roller coaster. You might go up some, but then you can go down a lot. Just like me this season, I went up to 41K at the beginning of this season, and I dropped down all the way to 3700s and had to grind back to the 4Ks. And in that process, I ran through some level 9s and level 10s and level 11s. And that's why I suggest that people in even lower levels that are in 3900s, they should just wait, play some 2v2, play some tourneys, because a lot of players are going to be getting knocked down super low and trying to grind back up and run through these players, making them lose their trophies and where they were standing in the first place. And so that's why I say, even the top players in my clans, they get to 5K. Top 2 players get to 5K, and the way they do it is they stay at a certain trophy amount, which is 4300, and then once the ladder has cleared up, give it at least 2 weeks, and then you just grind all the way up, because you know it's not going to be that many level 13s, level 12s you're going to see. So I suggest, if you're trying to get to the 4Ks, just wait for the ladder to simmer down, because there's going to be a lot of players trying to push up and not let you get through. So I mean, that's how I do it, and that's how the top players in my clan do it. And they actually the ones who gave me this advice, and this would help me get to the 4300s. So I thought this might help you guys. Now to tip number 5, the last and final tip. Tip 5, just enjoy the game. The whole point of this game is for you to enjoy it. This game is pretty addictive. Please just enjoy the game. And I know sometimes you're going to rage, but if you don't like the game, you genuinely just like, you can't stand the game, and that means delete it. If you can't stand somebody, you can't stand a sport, you can't stand doing anything, most likely you will stay away from it and stop playing it. That's why I always forced to delete the game, because I couldn't stand the game. I couldn't stand losing, I couldn't take it. And then I realized this is just a game. It's here for you to have fun and to get you thinking. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I actually have a code word that's going to be used for the next video. Comment it in the comment section in the next video, code word pineapples, and you're going to see why. Thank you for watching. This is Clash with Midnight, and I'm out. Peace.